Well, good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. Today is May the 12th. Wow. I'm excited to be with you this morning to do the Just for Today in a meditation. I hope that your morning has gotten a great start. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. This is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. H.O.O.D is an acronym, H-O-O-D, and it stands for Hope Offered on Demand. And I am daily building content. So this time next year, you will be able to come into my YouTube channel and you will be able to go through the Just for Today, whatever day you want. There will be 365 recordings. So I'm trying to stick with that and be consistent. I find that the weekends are a little bit more difficult than any other time, but I just wanted to encourage you and thank you for being with me. Wow. Look at this reading, May 12th, Living with Spiritual Experiences, page 138. For meditation to be of value, the results must show in our daily lives. So we're probably talking about the 11th step. Let's go ahead and read what it says. In working our program, we are given many indirect indications of a higher power's presence in our lives. The clean feeling that comes to so many of us in taking our 5th step. The sense that we are finally on the right track when we make amends. The satisfaction we get from helping another addict. Meditation, however, occasionally brings us extraordinary indications of God's presence in our lives. These experiences do not mean we have become perfect or that we are cured. They are taste given us of the source of our recovery itself, reminding us of the true nature of the thing we are pursuing in Narcotics Anonymous and encouraging us to continue walking our spiritual path. Such experiences demonstrate in no uncertain terms that we have tapped a power far greater than our own. But how do we incorporate that extraordinary power into our ordinary lives? Our NA friends, our sponsor, and others in our communities may be more seasoned in spiritual matters than we are. If we ask, they can help us fit our spiritual experiences into the natural pattern of recovery and spiritual growth. Just for today, I will seek whatever answers I may need to understand my spiritual experiences and incorporate them into my daily life. That is a very powerful reading. I've enjoyed it. I will say that I have enjoyed the fruits of meditation, the fruits of understanding my personal spiritual experiences and how to take the feeling that I walk away with in meditation, prayer and meditation, the feeling that I walk away with of that centeredness, that peace, that empowerment that I get. I've learned how to execute that in my life on a day-to-day basis. I'm not sure if execute is the term that I'm looking for, but I've learned how to apply it in my life on a day-to-day basis. I do believe that the struggle that any person probably experiences is maintaining that. But I want to give you a clue or give you something that is a go-to that may work for you. In layman terms, what I was told when I first got here is that I can start my day over at any point in time in my day. You know how we say, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Okay, so if some point in the day I am starting to get chaotic, my thoughts are running rapid and I'm not able to take control of them, right? And I'm becoming dark in my day. If I'm seeing a downward spiral, I can take a break. Even if I'm working and I don't have permission to take a break, I can still, in my place of employment, take a moment of silence to recenter myself, to meditate on what my physiological messages are. Is my heart racing? Am I starting to get cramps in my shoulders? I can pay attention to the physiological um, traits that I'm experiencing, feelings or sensations that I'm experiencing, and I can take a moment to redirect that, right? So it doesn't have to be such a big USA moment. It can be smaller moments through the course of the day that keep me plugged in and keep me tapped into the proper juice. So that's just a little thing that works for me. I can tell when I'm not, I can tell when my environment changes because people throughout the whole day, the average individual is going to encounter something that is not working with them, you know, it's working against them. And so there's emotions and energy that comes with that. But the majority of individuals do not know how to navigate that in a way that works for them. And one of the ways that a person can do it is through meditation. They can do it through prayer and meditation. I was talking to a lady in recovery about 2 weeks ago, and I was trying to help her understand that mindfulness is not a religion. Mindfulness is not a religion, right? It's not some of the things that we've learned about meditation has come from the eastern part of the world. And I think there's a tendency in the western part of the world to reject different techniques or practices that are from the eastern part of the world because we think that it is religious in nature. And I just want to say that there is nothing, I don't want to say there's nothing spiritual, um, but that's not what I mean. There is nothing religious about learning how to breathe deeply and to control your breathing. There's nothing religious. You can make a religion out of it if you want to, and probably some have, but the breath in my body was a gift that was given to me. And so this breath within my body sustains me. And if I don't think it's important, all I have to do is try to hold my breath for an extended period of time, and you will soon see that I will gasp for that breath. This oxygen, this air within my body is a gift to me, right? And so it's spiritual in nature. It's not religious. And you or I or anyone that is having a hard time taking a deep breath and breathing properly, what is happening is that the appropriate oxygen is not getting to our brain cells. We find that we're foggy. We find that we're yawning a lot. We find that we're, lethargic. And a lot of what we really want in life can be accomplished, the energy that we want, through proper breathing. A lot of it can be accomplished through just making sure that we hydrate our bodies well. One of the ways that I handle hunger for me, because I'm such a foodie, is to make sure that I'm drinking plenty of water. A lot of times I'm not hungry at all. I'm thirsty, right? And so there's some things, some small things that we can do. And I know that this in particular is about meditation, but breathing is much a part of meditation as anything. Learning how to breathe deeply, learning how to notice your body's symptoms, and learning how to redirect love towards those areas of our body that needs healing. These are things that we have naturally been gifted and able to do on our own. You might need someone to coach you or something like that. But there's so many YouTube videos that you can watch that can help you. And I'm not trying to promote anyone. I'm just letting you know that a lot of the answers that we seek are already within us. We have already been gifted with what we need. And sometimes, as this reading indicated, there's people that have been around longer in the program that might be a little bit more experienced in maintaining this spiritual presence throughout their lives. And it's noticeable. It's something that you can notice. It's not something that you have to guess whether or not they have a spiritual life or experience, right? It's something that you will be able to notice, because some of the fruit that comes from that is the way a person will interact with another person. If you find your interaction with one particular person is always confusing, it's always antagonistic, it's always about money, it's always about, it's always full of messiness. If you notice an interaction with one particular person is like that all the time, their energy and your energy, but those two energies coming together aren't good, right? And that's a good time when you can just pull back and just say, let me get back to you later in the day. I got a few other things going on I want to take care of before I try to focus on this discussion. But I do promise you, I will circle back to you and we will finish the discussion, but I really got to take my leave right now, right? They don't need to know that you are intentionally excusing yourself from their presence, because you're sensing that something is going on between the two of you and it's not conducive to you in your spiritual journey. So you pull away from that, and it may only be an hour, but you go back and in the spirit of doing a 10th step, right? You sort of examine that interaction and determine what about that interaction could you do differently? And what about that interaction would you have preferred they did differently? And whatever you come up for them, I just want to say that is an unrealistic expectation because you cannot control anyone. However, what you come up with that you wish you had done differently or could have done differently, that is in your sphere of influence. You can change that. And then take some time to rehearse how you're going to enact that, right? Take some time to visualize the next time you encounter that individual in that discussion. Because see, there's a lot of people, like I say, they have spiritual experiences, but the majority of them are so dark because they don't take the time to bring the positivity and bring the love and the connectedness. They're always on defense. So anything that you say to them is always going to be antagonistic or temperamental, not loving. And so it's not your responsibility to try to change them, but it is your responsibility to bring your best foot forward into that relationship. And if you find that you are being treated like a doormat or you just cannot handle that interaction, then this is a person that you don't need to have on your list of interacting, right? Is there a reason that you have to interact with them? Do you work with them? Are they your employer? Are they your mate? Are they your children? And if they're your children, are they young children or are they grown children? Because we can detach from a lot of the energies that we find ourselves connected to that are not conducive to our spiritual well-being at any time. I absolutely stand on the fact that I can't think of too many things that I have to do, right? I have 2 little boys that I'm caring for. They're my great nephews. They have a father that is working on getting himself together so that he can parent them. They have a mother, and God knows where she is. I am in their life until I'm not in their life. So I consider raising them, nurturing them, loving them, guiding them, playing with them, teaching them, right? I consider that one of my have-tos, right? The other thing is I have a husband, and until I don't have a husband, then I consider him one of my have-tos, right? My recovery is a have-to, and my relationship with God is a have-to. These are things not only do I feel that I want to, I believe that my life would be decreased substantially without those energies in my life. Okay, so I make my own choices, and you can do the same thing. You do not have to engage antagonistically with any energy. You figure out what your have-tos are and set those matters right. My mother used to say this, and she used to say, you're my 150 percenter. I need you to do 100% and not 150% at all with all of your encounters. If you just bring your 100%, that's enough. I don't want you to burn out when you're trying to do more than what your portion is to do. And she also told me that you pick three things in a day, 3 things that are on your list to get done. Prioritize your day. Anything past those 3 things, tell the individual or the situation, I can't do that right now. Let me think about it, and I will get back to you and let you know what I think about it, or if I can even do it. So you begin to learn how to delegate those issues as they come up to another day, and you give yourself a pass to address them when you feel that you can bring your best spiritual sound mind to that situation, right? And then in that time or that leeway that you just brought yourself, you engage someone else, ask someone else for an opinion. What do you think about this? This is what's going on. What do you think I need to change how I respond? Or, you know what I'm saying? You just become humble and you open it up to other individuals that you trust. Don't open it up to people you don't trust. People that always tell you fight, 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 fight. They are prone to fight. That's what they do. But that may not be who you are. Right. So open yourself up to individuals in a spirit of humility, asking for suggestions, constructive criticism to those individuals that you trust. Because when you have a trusting relationship, then even if what they have to say to you may step on your toes a bit, you're going to receive it because you know that they love you and want the best for you. Right. And so I know I went into quite a bit talking about meditation, but the whole purpose of meditating is really to make sure that you stay grounded and you stay sound throughout the course of your day. And that's what this is talking about, living with spiritual experiences. And I just heard a speaker today, and he was sharing about the problem that he had with religion was that religion couldn't teach him how to deal with the past. It couldn't teach him how to be okay in the moment with who you are, even though you've created all this harm to other people. But that Narcotics Anonymous and how it teaches you through the 12 steps, these spiritual principles, then you apply them to yourself because you're focused on yourself. And now you become a person that you can tolerate who you are. You can love who you are. You're okay with who you are. And so now you can be that way with other people. Right. And that was a very powerful share that I heard this morning. I just want to encourage you to know that this is a journey. When I started this podcast, I am no longer in the moment that I started that podcast. I'm in the journey of the podcast, but I'm about to end it. And when I ended that moment of ending it, I could end another podcast, but I will never get that moment back. We are always moving. Time moves forward, and it only moves backwards when we decide to be resentful. We decide to ruminate on the past. We decide to be vengeful, right? It only moves backwards in our mind. And when we move back in our mind, the spirit of that thing that we experience comes back up, right? So you have the power to make choices about how you're going to move forward. If you're going to drag all your baggage, people are going to see you coming and they're going to say, here come that bag lady. And you remember that Erykah Badu, bag lady, you're going to break your back, right? So you get to decide when you're going to unload all of that baggage, right? But if you're talking about moving forward, you might have some fear of the future, but then again, that's as bad as being resentful of the past, right? Because now you're projecting what will happen ahead of you and you haven't even gotten there. But what you can do about those future events that you know are coming, that you know you're going to have to encounter, you know you're going to have to see your children's father, you know you're going to have to go to court, you know that you're going to have to pay this bill, right? These future events that you know exist, what you can do in order to be able to experience them in a positive way is prepare yourself and your energy through meditation and prayer today, just for today. Prepare who you are so that as these events come up, you're bringing your best self. If it goes crazy, it won't be because of anything that you've done, because you've done your work in today and you continue to do it each day the same way. I don't know what's coming. I don't know how they're going to act, but I want to bring my best self to it. I'm not a doormat, but I'm going to be ready for however it goes. And if it goes sour, it goes south, it goes negative, I have the strength and the know it, the awareness, not the know-it-all, the awareness to know that I can walk away. I do not have to stay in an antagonistic relationship or situation. And people are not just going to talk to me crazy. And you know that. So you can hope for the best. But if they have a pattern of it not going that way, you can expect the worst. But regardless, in today, you prepare your best self for tomorrow, right? There's this saying that people do not plan to fail. They fail to plan, right? And so in the spirit of planning for tomorrow, you just work on who you are today. Be as authentic and as honest as you possibly can about who you are today and what changes you need to make today. And I believe the spirit of meditation, when I'm meditating, I become completely aware of my ill will and my good will. I become completely aware of my negative energy, my dark energy, and my positive energy. And I'm humbled in that moment that the God of my understanding still loves me, still showers down on me, still makes the shine, it makes the sun shine on me. I am humbled in that moment that even with all of that darkness or negativity, that there's all this flooding of love and positivity and peace and kindness and joy, patience and goodness and mildness, and all of these things are still flooding into my life, even though I don't always feel deserving. And in that moment, I'm humbled, like, wow, my higher power, my God really loves me. And that's what you want with meditation. You want to be able to walk away from your moments of meditation full of love, full of peace, feeling empowered, right? So I want to encourage you and challenge you today to start upping your game in meditation. If you've never done it, start doing it with 2 or 3 minutes. Start with something as simple. I'm going to take a moment of silence, followed by the I version of the serenity prayer. Make it personal, right? And then go into your moment of silence like you were in a meeting, and try to press that moment of silence as far as you can. Think about head to toe. What am I feeling in my mind, in my body, all the way down to my feet, right? And then when you're done with that, come out of it, right? Soon as any thoughts that come to you, you send them on their way and say, I'll deal with you later. And when you come out of that moment of meditation, however long it lasts, go ahead and do the I version of the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I tell you the truth, if you start doing that and practicing doing that throughout your day, however short the time may be, do it every day. When you feel a bit hectic, your life will improve tremendously. Your relationships with people will improve tremendously. People that interact with you will begin to say, wow, I don't know what's going on with you, but I see a difference in just your face. You're not all frowned up. You appear peaceful. There's an aura. They'll start making comments, and some of them you might not be able to relate to, depending on what force of energy they attribute, peace to, but they're going to start noticing. But most importantly, you will notice. And that's what counts. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed your company today, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.